Hey everybody, Fifth Horseman here, in orbit around Minmus, playing more Kerbal Space Program. We have fully scanned Minmus for Kethane, well, as fully as I feel like I should scan. And we are on the verge of a dual mission to Duna, and I'm excited about this. What we're going to do is, this guy's got plenty of fuel. Let me get our GUI back up here. We've got 6 hours before the window opens to Duna, and actually that's 6 hours before the window opens to Duna. We've got 237 liters of fuel here. I'm guessing it's liters, which is going to give us 1789 meters per second total delta V. And that is more than enough to get this guy out to Duna. So we're actually going to send him out there, and he's going to scan both Duna and Ike for Kethane. Might as well. Why not? Why not utilize what we have? And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I might have enough, once I've done that, to leave Duna and actually get all the way to Eve and scan both Eve and Gilly. So that's pretty exciting. But before we do that, the boys in the science labs have told us that we have earned a science unlock. So let's go in there and check out what we've got. I found that, where is it? Kethane drills. I know I found one. Did I unlock it already? Oh, I did unlock it already. Okay, so now I have the Kethane drills, but I need the refinery if I'm ever gonna do anything with Kethane. So here's the converter unit, I should say. It's not really a refinery. It also comes with a ton of little engines, which might be nice, and also RCS, which might be nice when comes time to make my Mars probe. But let's see what else, because I need stuff. Or Mars. I keep calling it Mars. Duna, my Duna probe. Yeah, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to unlock this refinery and get a couple little jets and another little fuel tank. So let's go ahead and research this for 160. That's 10% of our total science. And, oh, what did this unlock? Another probe core. We didn't happen to get a probe core in here, did we? No. Another probe core, and then something that we don't know what it is. Looks like a flux capacitor, so I'm going to guess that's a time machine. Probably not. But, okay, let's go ahead and now I'm going to back out of here. We're going to go to the VAB, and we're going to make our Mars probe. I'm not going to subject you to that. I will make it, and then I will come back and I will show it to you when I am done. Okay, this is my Duna lander. I've done a little bit of testing with it on Kerbal to make sure that it works the way I expect it to. And what's going to happen is this engine's going to deorbit it. The main craft is actually going to carry this thing to Duna orbit, and all this is going to have to do is get it out of orbit, so it's probably more than enough fuel. This here's an SAS just to give it a little bit more stability because I'm bringing goo with me. And this is going to make this thing a little back heavy, so this is to keep it up. Once we enter the atmosphere, we're going to dump the fuel container, so it's just going to be this is going to be the lander. And we've got a barometer, might as well bring it along, and the science bay, and just a simple brain with some solar panels. So as long as we're not aimed directly at the sun or directly away from the sun at any point, we should be fine. And that's the ship. I installed a new mod, believe it or not, called Root something. If you hold down Control and Shift and click a part, it sets the root of that part to this. And the reason I did that just now, selecting that, is because I am going to bring this over and drop it here to save it, and I'm going to call it Duna Lander. And you know what, I won't bother with the description. Let's go ahead and save it. Okay, and that way I can load that on my ship. So I will be back in a second once I have my Ike lander set up. Okay, well, here's my Ike probe lander. It's basically the same as the Duna, although I need to keep the engine all the way down because there's no atmosphere. I don't need the barometer because there's no atmosphere, so I put the goo container up on top. It looks pretty bad, but what are you going to do? And I also made it 4 legs just so it's a little more stable on the surface of Duna. I'm not sure that's needed, but hey, why not? So we're going to do the same thing. Control Shift, click on this to set it as the root part, and then we're going to drop it here. We're calling it Ike Probe Lander. And we're going to save it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up the same Jool ship that I had before. I saved one called Duna, but it's basically the same as the Jool, and I'm just going to save over it. We probably don't need all this Delta V. And we also have a problem that this is the root part. You know what? We don't have a problem. Duh. Let's set this as the root part. Okay. So now I can take this off and throw it away. And I can take these off and throw them away. And I can take these off and throw them away. And now we're going to go into our subassemblies. And we've got an Ike probe lander and a Duna lander. The Ike probe lander is going on top. And he's going to go last as well. And then the Duna landers, we're going to go into symmetry mode here. And I guess we can't do four-way symmetry. You know what? I'm going to fix that here by removing these and then putting these back on with four-way symmetry. And now when I put this guy on, if I can rotate him right, boom! There's 4 of them. Okay. So there you go. There's our 4 Duna landers. There's our Ike lander. And our launcher that, with idealness, will have enough Delta V to get us all the way there as soon as I fix the staging. So, I will, oh, and I lost all my struts. Let's do a test launch. Let's do that. That'll be fun. This is a 5 Duna probe lander. Let's go ahead and save him and do our test launch and see what happens. Now I've changed my my volumes, so hopefully the thrust won't be quite as loud as it's been in the past. Yeah, ignore that over there. That was one of my test launches. Okay, a little wobbly, not a big deal. Let's go ahead and throttle up. We've got surface and orbital. That's what we care about. We've got plenty of fuel, plenty of charge. Our charge is going down, though. So let's go ahead and go in 3, 2, 1. Test launch. Whoa, I just realized something. We're looking at this thing sideways. Let's control from here. There we go. 3, 2, 1, launch. Okay, looking pretty good. Looking pretty bad. Things are wobbling. I think we lost our struts in between the things. I'm going to go with this is sub-ideal. Oh, yeah, we have... There we go. Let's test... Oh, that's our Ike lander. Okay. Tell you what, let's revert this thing to vehicle assembly and try again. Okay, we're finally back. We've got all of our struts set up correctly. I found out what it is. The roots part selector mod breaks all your struts and all your fuel lines, so you got to be careful of that. I did it by I fixed it by fiddling around with sub-assemblies which don't break those things. So let's go ahead and turn on our computer. Let's crank up our volume and or whatever thrust, and 3, 2, 1, launch. Much smoother launch here. Our atmospheric efficiency is climbing. Our thrust to weight is also climbing. It's a little high, but I think it'll be fine, especially once we lose our first engines here. But I'm still going to keep an eye. I'm keeping an eye right here on this atmospheric efficiency number. Now we still don't have the right control from here, so let's go ahead and do that. So the nav ball looks like something we recognize. We're chewing through fuel, but not as quickly as I had feared. What I'm wondering is if I can get rid of some or all of these outer rings, because we're not going as far, and I don't know if we're taking as much. I think we are taking at least as much, if not more. But yeah, it looks like our ascent profile is about the same as it was for the for the Jool launcher. So this is looking good. If it gets into orbit and it's fine, I'll just leave it in orbit and send it to Jool, or to Duna. Yeah, 97. Yeah, it's a little bit more efficient than the Jool one, because the Jool one didn't make it to 98, I don't think. And this one's just making it to 98 right as it's starting to go back down. So that's pretty good. Not going to complain. And we're also going to do our gravity turn, which we weren't able to do as much of before, because we had to drop our tanks. Looks like we can actually get all the way to 45 before we drop them here, which is good by me. Goodbye, tanks. Thank you for helping us this far. Also, thank you for diminishing our part count by leaving us. And now it's all about following our ascent profile, which ideally, what I'm trying to do here is keep myself right at the top of this, so I'm still going up more than I'm going forward to get myself out of the atmosphere. But I'm not wasting any fuel, not giving myself some forward velocity. That's the idea behind a gravity turn. I'm also watching my apoapsis here. I don't want to cheat too much, though, because I do need to get out of the atmosphere, obviously. I don't care about the surface anymore, so let's go ahead and bring up the vessel. And I mean, my goal here with this ship is to get into Kerbal orbit with most of this central stack with fuel in it. If that happens, I'm happy. Because this will easily get me to Duna, because it got me to Jool. Basically, I'm just keeping it at the top of this dot here. I don't know if that's the best or the worst or what, but we're through the worst of the atmosphere, so the drag isn't quite so bad as it was down below. Also, the longer we can keep the engines on, the less we have to rely on solar power, which is important. Okay, I'm going to start going back into my thing here. Looks like we're going to have to use some of this to get into orbit, but not too much. We're getting pretty close to an actual orbit here. I'm watching my apoapsis and my periapsis. I don't want my apoapsis to get above 100. If all else fails, we'll just have to ride this thing around to the other side. I would like my periapsis above the ground, though. Okay, we gotta do this. The problem is all this burn is gonna be at apoapsis, and I didn't bring any batteries, which is a bad thing. I should have launched this thing not at sunset, basically, is what's going on here. So I think what I'm gonna do... stop clicking on stuff. Go away. Sorry. I don't know exactly what causes those things to come up, and I wish I did. Our electric charge is going down. That means the sun has set. I'm just going to hold off as long as I can and then crank up the engines. And I'm kind of aiming downward so we don't chase our frickin' apoapsis out of the system here. I mean, in theory, we could do a midnight launch and just... Or not a midnight launch, but actually, probably a sunset launch, give or take. And then just burn to Duna. Might not be a bad idea. I could actually... You know what? Might as well test that now. Test how that would work right now. Just go here. Get ourselves right at our thing here. And when we get down to about 2... electric charge up at the upper right there, I'm going to crank up the engines. And yeah, we'll just burn and see what a Mars intercept would look like here. Sorry, Duna intercept. Burning a little early for it, both because I'm 12 hours ahead of time and I would like to be closer to here, but there's not much I can do about it because although I can actually, now that my electric charge is down, yeah, I tried to turn that thing back on, but it's still annoying that it pops up all the time. What are we doing here? Let's go ahead and speed up time a little bit, watching our power go down. Okay, this is about where I want to be when I do my Duna burn, so I'm just going to do it now. This is just a test anyway. And because it's a test, I'm not doing any science. I'm also doing this seat of my pants. I'm not actually planning my maneuvers or anything like that, which I would be doing in a real launch. But I might want to throw some batteries on this guy, because the last thing I want this thing to do is run out of electric charge and then crash into Kerbal because I can't start the engine. But we're cranking up the engine. We're getting our orbit going here outside of Moon. It's about to be outside of Duna. I wouldn't say we have plenty of fuel, but we do have fuel. And here comes our Duna encounter. Right around there somewhere. I'm a little surprised. Oh, wait. I need to set Duna as a target. A little surprised, though, that I don't see... There's our encounter. And there's an actual encounter. With plenty of fuel. See, now I want to just say, you know what? We'll count this as our launch. You know what? Let's do it. There's no sense not doing it, because we're just going to do the same thing, and then this will save time. So, there you go. Our Duna ship is on the way. And we have plenty of fuel, like I said we would. This is all going to probably just crash into Duna, and this is superfluous, really. It's not even needed. So, that's what you get, though. How much fuel do we have in here? Yeah, we have enough to matter. So, tell you what, let's go ahead and set up our orbital inclination maneuver node. Although it looks like, yeah, we don't even need that. All we need to do is figure out how we're going to intercept Duna, which we can do once we've left the sphere of influence at Kerbal. So tell you what, I haven't been recording a super long time, but I've been playing a long time, doing all this testing and stuff. And I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. But I will jump really quickly to my Kethane scanner here. And let's go ahead and set up a maneuver node for him and get him going out of the system as well. Might as well do it, considering we got an encounter with the other one. I don't see why we couldn't get an encounter with this guy. But I am going to really quickly turn off this detect and add alarms for maneuver nodes. It's just not quite ready for prime time, I don't think. So, this one, though, is a little bit harder because we need to be going this way, which is... which direction are we going? We are heading northward. So when we get to the North Pole here is roughly when we want to start burning. And then, yeah, that's basically what we want to do here. and burn enough to get us to Duna, and hopefully get an encounter. I don't know if setting that as a target's going to work. Let's see. So we're getting a little bit of a kick from Kerbal, which is modifying our orbit a little bit. But if we play a little bit here... Oh, there's our encounter. I just clicked once and I got an encounter. Let's see if we can actually... Yeah, and this one we can fudge this once we get out of the system as well. So I think we should do that. It is a fairly hefty burn. 716. We got 47 seconds to do that, so it's probably about 20-ish, give or take. 20-second burn seems reasonable. So we'll start at 10 seconds before. Let's go ahead and zoom in here so we can watch our thing come at us. So let's go ahead and zoom it up here. Get ourselves to about 30 seconds, and I'll crank time down. Whoa. Okay, 10 seconds till we are going to start this burn. Looks like I was fairly close. 23 or 24 seconds total. We'll just do what the maneuver node says and then get out of Kerbal's sphere of influence. Whoop. Whoa, we're getting some crazy spins here. Okay, that looks good. We are now leaving Minmus. Might as well turn our detectors off. Save some power for the trip. Thank you, Minmus, for telling us all about your Kethane. But we've got better places to go. Yeah, we got a pretty close approach with Duna there. But we'll wait until we get out of Kerbal's sphere of influence before we actually care about that. And that's it. We've got 3 ships now going on interplanetary rides here. And I'm pretty excited. We're going to Jool. We're going to Duna. Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching me flail around a little bit and finally get things under control. We could probably count this as a successful mission, and that way unlock our something. I don't remember what we need to unlock, to be honest with you. But I think we need to unlock the pipes and stuff so we can set up our Kethane refinery. But I think we're going to Moon and Minmus next and getting those all set up while our ships travel to other planets. So look forward to that. Until next time, I am Fifth Horseman, and I will, as always, talk at you later.